I'm Tiffany Chen.
And I'm Leon Chen. We're the founders of TIFF'S Treats. We started our business when we were just 19 years old out of our college apartment.
Our mission was simple, to bake cookies fresh and deliver them warm right from the oven.
We became the nation's first on-demand warm cookie delivery company.
With a lot of hard work and a little luck, we've become a national brand with a growing number of locations across the country.
Employing thousands and selling hundreds of millions of cookies.
Over the last 20 years, we've learned a thing or two about baking.
And a lot of life lessons.
Step inside the kitchen to learn some tips.
As we bake and hang out with some very special people. In this episode, we welcome Andy Roddick into our kitchen.
He's a former world #1 tennis player turned philanthropist, husband, and father.
In addition to having won over 30 titles in tennis, Andy is also married to actress and model Brooklyn Decker.
Today, we're going to see what he's got when it comes to baking chocolate chip turtle cookie cups. Andy, this is a kitchen.
This is normally where the wine gets opened, correct?
This is gonna be fun.
We're going to wait on the wine because we want your cookies to be perfect.
Ooh, well, there's a goal.
So have you ever even made anything? Have you ever baked?
I make food for like 5-year-olds.
Yeah,
and a
this
3-year-old.
is the same thing. This is what we're making.
We could have gone easy with a cookie.
I was about to say, like, you went with like the...
No, this is easy.
And
okay.
they're really good, actually.
I believe that part
Yeah.
of this.
So what we're gonna do is, I am gonna show you how to make it, and you're gonna make your own. So you have all of your own
I'm
set.
solo.
You're on your own. But I'm gonna walk you through it.
I see what's happening here. Okay.
And then we're gonna see how great they come out.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, you ready to go?
Yes.
Let's do it. So first thing we're gonna start with is butter, which is already set out for you and measured. See how easy we're making it?
Oh.
Okay, so you've got 2 1/4 sticks butter, which are already softened, and that's
Yes.
important because otherwise it's really hard to work with if they're super tough.
Yep.
And also totally affects how they come out. Don't worry, I made yours exactly as perfect as mine.
Wait,
So
you measured that for him already?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
Okay, but you're gonna do your own measuring.
As someone who did not go to college, I appreciate you doing all the math for me.
So right, plop them in.
Okay.
Easy.
That was
Okay, that's the
simple.
easiest thing you're gonna
Okay.
do. Okay, now we have to actually measure out some sugar. So we're gonna do a cup of sugar. So fill your sugar cup all the way up, and you're
Okay.
just gonna knife it over so it's perfectly even.
All right, we're fine.
Okay.
We're winning.
All right, putting it in. Boop, that's the sugar. Okay, next is gonna be brown sugar, and we're gonna take our half cup.
Yep.
And then get your measuring cup all the way in.
Okay.
Again, you wanna overfill it, and then just use your hand to press it flat into the cup.
Okay. I feel like I nailed this.
Yeah, you nailed it. Okay, ready? And then you plop it in. This will make like one solid plop. Plop. Perfect. Okay, so for this next part, Andy, we're using a hand mixer. Have
Yep.
you used one of these before?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, perfect.
We're fine. Look away. Look away.
Okay, so the way these guys work is this little guy, if you push him up, it's gonna turn on
I have a
low.
different one.
Oh,
The
yours is
buttons aren't even the
different.
same.
Oh, I got the good one.
Oh, good.
Okay, so you start on low,
Yep.
and we're just gonna blend this together. The butter should be soft enough where it's pretty easy to blend.
You're the one who prepped the butter, so this is on you.
You can stop, and here's my tip. Take it out, and then turn it on high. Whoop! It makes a mess, but it takes the stuff off of your
Wait,
batter.
wait.
Okay,
No,
yeah,
no.
no, put
it
it
back,
down
put it
a
back.
little bit. Yeah. If it hasn't totally mixed in, you can mix that back in with a spoon because sometimes you get little butter chunks.
Mine's actually pretty great. There's no chunks. There's just. it's
Oh,
just-
well,
it's
his
just
is
kinda
already
perfectly
perfect.
so,
Okay,
you
we'll
know,
skip it.
I will say round one, Andy.
Oh,
like,
great.
this is very mixed. Yours
I-
is.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. I came here to shock the world today.
Yeah.
so next we're gonna put in the eggs. You're gonna want 2 eggs. It's
Okay.
easy to see how many of these you've done. So
Yep.
crack in your eggs.
Okay.
Boop.
There we go.
Wait, how many did you do?
You said 2.
Okay, perfect.
Wait,
but I have
that's
3.
That's
Yeah,
your
you're
third.
doing 3.
That's your third.
Oh my
Sorry,
God,
I didn't catch
I
that.
saved you.
Honestly,
So we're just gonna leave this little lone chicken, the little egg over
that
here.
was a backup egg. Okay, so we've got our eggs in. And now we're gonna do the big 3, which is vanilla, salt, and baking soda. They're super easy to forget whether or not you've done them. Or forget how much of them you've put in.
Okay.
So this is where you want to be really careful. That probably won't taste very good until the end.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree.
Okay. So
This is
start
where
with
you
your
could really
vanilla.
screw up your recipe.
You
right
can
here.
really screw it. Actually, that's also making me nervous. It's not
Why is it
measured.
making you
Because
nervous?
it's not measured yet.
Not
You
pretty
gotta measure it. You're putting it right over the bowl. Okay, we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla.
Make sure You need a little bit more.
What are you talking about?
Okay. You told me to correct him.
Well, now you're nitpicking.
He's incorrectable.
Oh my lord.
Uncorrectable?
I believe the term
Okay.
back in the day was uncoachable.
I didn't want to say it.
Okay,
Baking
so next
soda?
we're going to do salt, actually. So we're going to do a teaspoon
Oh, I
and
got
a half
it.
of salt. I like cookies salty, and that's why I do this much salt. This is the Tiff's Treats way. And we are just going to do a half teaspoon of baking soda. Just one of these. Okay, so now we're going to mix again. So you take your same guy,
All right, I'm gonna get prepared here.
and we're going to, oh, you're getting serious
Yeah.
now.
Game
Good.
time.
Yeah, this is where.
Okay, so start slow so it doesn't
where it
splash up. So go on low to start, blend it in, and then if you feel like you need to go up to a medium speed, you can. We're just
Definitely
gonna go
think
until
you
it
should
gets
go
mixed.
faster.
I'll take it up. Take it up a little bit.
Perfect. There.
It's like I'm trying to get the answers off the test. And just
There. That's it. Okay, that's
Beautiful.
good. So then we're gonna do flour. You're gonna take your 1 cup measuring cup,
Yep.
and you're gonna overfill it again, same as we did before.
Yep.
So just make a huge mound.
Yep.
There you go. Okay,
at
and then
this.
put it over your spillover bowl.
Yep.
Take your butter knife, and then slice it exactly evenly over the top.
That's his
Aha.
like first
And it's
real
satisfying,
measurement.
right? Isn't it satisfying to knife that over?
Yeah, it's just satisfying not to
zen.
hear Leon's criticism. You're like a true commentator. You can sit wherever you want and just criticize everyone the whole while not doing anything.
I've done years of this.
Yeah,
I've done years
fantastic.
Of watching me bake?
of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do it again actually, because we're gonna do 2 1/4 cups. Okay, and then we're gonna do your knife, make it perfectly even.
Yep.
And then we need bonus flour. You need just like a little bit more.
I think the flour has been your best work.
All right, and that goes in. And then we're gonna mix it one more time. Go slow to start, mix it around like this until it's incorporated, and then you can speed up.
Okay.
Making sure it's not gonna splatter all over the place.
And he's actually
You're pretty good at
yeah,
mixing.
he's actually doing a really good job.
Okay, I'm done and I wanna stop mixing as soon as I'm done. So I'm gonna get the excess off.
Yeah, you're
then
done.
stop.
You're done. You're done.
Okay, and then, oh, this is so easy for you, Andy. We already measured these out. So just throw these in. That's
All
it.
of them.
All of them. Oh, it's so nice to
Yeah,
pre-measure.
y'all are making this way too easy for Andy, but okay.
I love how mad you are that this is actually going okay.
Well, they're like setting it up for you to be a success, and like I want to see what you're really made out of.
You've known me long enough, very little.
And that's it.
More,
Just until
a
it's
little bit
mixed
more.
in and then stop.
Okay.
So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them in these little mini muffin trays, because instead of making cookies, we're gonna make cookie cups.
Yep.
And so you can grab yours here, and you're gonna need your teeny little scoop. So what you're gonna do is fill this really generously, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but just about like this. Yeah.
Okay.
And then scoop it in. It should just basically fit the mold. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not the best at this. I got a lot of like shrapnel.
Yeah.
So, you know, you really can't mess this up too bad. When the cookies are gonna bake in the oven, they're gonna melt down.
Yours looks very professional.
How bad can it be? You're just scooping into trays.
Don't ask questions.
Oh, okay.
Oh, don't.
Oh,
Don't.
she
Oh,
said-
oh,
she goes,
oh.
she goes, how bad could it be? Oh,
How bad can it be?
I warned you.
They're gonna come out fine, I'm certain. Okay, should we
One-
reveal?
yeah, one, two,
One,
three,
two,
re-
three. Reveal.
Like I'm a little more of a creative.
So you're
artist.
gonna be some large cups, some little cups, it's fine. That's it, then we're gonna pop them in the oven at 375. Let me just find the best shelf for me, and then you can use the other shelf.
Great.
As soon as that's
Yeah, we
done.
don't want to break precedent here.
Here, I'll put you on the top. That's the better shelf. That's it. Locked and loaded.
You just made cookies, man.
I feel pretty good about it.
Let's
but
go chat and we'll see how these things turn
Let's
out.
do
All
it.
right, let's do.
Hey. All right. Let's have a drink while we're waiting.
Oh gosh.
I'm average at making cookies.
No, so
little
far
better at
so
bourbon?
good.
I'm better at drinking bourbon.
Okay, cheers so far.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
How was your
morning.
first baking experience with Tiff?
I'm struggling, but I'm trying very hard. It's kind of like
No, I think
it's kind
you're
of like my
good.
tennis career.
So you're coming in second to
Yeah,
Tiff, basically.
I was always set up for the loss.
So something tells me you are not the baker in the family.
Why do you think that?
I think you're doing a great job.
Is it because you saw me do it right there for a little while?
I
call
think
him
your
a-
mixing skills were good.
call him-
You're a natural mixer.
His name is three egg Roddick.
Yeah, I was about to say,
That's
like,
true.
yeah.
You're not a natural.
You saved me from disaster with that third egg.
Yes.
So
I agree.
Brooke bakes at home.
Brooke bakes at home, yes.
Actually a pretty good cook too. I think Tiff is still talking about her. What was it that when we went over to her house? Yes.
The avocado toast?
Yes. She talked about that for months after.
Okay, she made an amazing avocado toast, and some of the avocado fell into a zipper on my shoe and is still there. And I even took it to a shoe hospital, and I was like, there's avocado in this?
wait,
He goes, I can't get that out. So it just lives. It's just part of it. But I like the shoes.
Well, I will say, I don't think I've ever baked with Tiff, so you were doing something.
Really?
Yes.
What? That's not true. What do you mean?
You've never run me through.
Oh, I've never run you through.
an actual recipe.
But you used to make the dough with me.
You know, I did have I did have a realization today that I think you'd be shocked about. But after 20 years of
Now
marriage,
I'm nervous.
This is what I'm here for.
Yes.
He wanted an audience, so it wasn't
Yeah.
so. You know
I
how
have
people
some
do this in
grievances,
public
so-
spaces.
Yeah.
So
I feel like I'm on
can't
Maury
get super
Povich.
No,
mad.
I did. My realization is I did not come from a traditional household as one would use a traditional American household. So
Okay.
I believe the first time I ever baked cookies was actually with Tiff when we were 17 years old.
Oh, I love to bake cookies when I was 17.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yes, the turtle cookie that we made.
So, okay, so she...
No, that was,
Different kind of-
there's your boyfriend.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Turtle's a swan!
turtle.
Tiff,
I have a move.
that was the one before.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's true.
This baking comes in handy.
No move, because I do remember this. So we're in high school. It's a story for another time, but I pretty much lived by myself. And she lies to her mom, I think statute of limitations, lies to her mom and says she's spending the night at a friend's house to
My
come
mom
over.
still doesn't know
and
She does now.
she just,
and you know what? You know what we did all night? Bake. Literally, not even a peck on the cheek.
Is that what you guys call it?
100%. All we did was make
100%.
cookies that we shaped into a turtle, like the animal, and then we went to
Okay.
bed
Yep.
in modest PJs.
Yep.
The end.
I swear
It was
nothing.
like the granniest set of PJs too.
I swear
like, he
nothing
had something
happened.
else in his mind.
I
as
swear nothing.
17-year-old me.
Actually, nothing happened. But
1000% nothing happened because we were best friends. I thought.
But it turned out, that's an argument for another time, but it turned out that was my first time to ever bake, ever. So
Okay.
my first time to bake was with you.
I've learned about the longevity of an avocado and your modest PJs.
Yeah. So far, this is not about you.
And go.
This is about us.
Yeah, this is not it. This is more
I am
about-
more entertained by this than I ever would
This
be
is
the
why
other
we
way
have
around.
celebrity
Yes,
guests
absolutely.
on, so we can talk
Okay,
about us
so
more.
let's get it out of the way. Let's talk to Andy Roddick about tennis.
Tennis?
Yes.
Okay.
Which, you know, and all the time that I've known you, I don't think we've ever really talked tennis much. Do you know my first job? Did I tell you this? My first job
No.
was at a tennis center.
Where? Which one?
Well, I mean, Huffines Tennis Center in Richardson,
Surely
Texas.
you
I'm
know
sure.
this tennis
This
center.
isn't a country club situation here.
well,
I was paid.
neither was Caswell in the middle of Austin,
Yeah.
but you know.
I was paid $4.25 an hour, and I did string rackets. I mean, nowadays I bet you they have like crazy machines, but
Do they?
I don't think they've changed that much.
could you string a racket?
Yes, so you go to junior tennis tournaments, and I had this big thing that I got from the Container Store.
Yeah.
And so whatever they charged on site for like racket string, I would just charge $2 less. So I'd go play my matches like in the actual tournament, and then take rackets and string for 6 hours.
That's what we should have done today instead of baking, is to see if we could still string a racket.
Gosh, I wonder.
Well, you should teach me how to string a racket. You think I could do it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's actually
Like
your little
small,
fingers.
nimble.
Yeah.
No,
That's what I'm
we'll
thinking. I'm thinking
definitely
I
do
might be
that.
really good at
We'll
this.
definitely do that like
And then we'll do like
another
a
time.
match.
Yeah.
Like
And then I'll return your serve.
Okay, we'll bet on that. Like, we'll see. I'll have my revenge for me looking like a dummy while we're baking.
Well, the image of her trying to return your serve is pretty much the image of you trying to bake with her. So, so I got to kind of see it.
Minus the part where I go to the hospital.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
You know, I read something that I don't believe is true, but it might be. Are you the last U.S. man to win a Grand Slam event?
In singles.
Singles.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
And are you also the last #1 ranked, or?
Yes, in singles and male. Yeah,
And that was 2003.
it's too long ago.
So do you think maybe your legend actually continues to grow every single year? An American doesn't win versus when you first retired?
My chances of being an answer on Jeopardy increase every year.
Because you're a big deal at the U.S. Open every year. Now, do you like if somebody wins, like maybe they don't call you the next year, or you'll be happy about that?
Oh gosh, I hope it happens. I mean, honestly, like, you know, I'm not the guy who, you know, walked uphill both ways to school. I'm not the person who sits back and like, back in our day we were better. Like, that's just not the case. Like, I hope it happens, and I'm readily available to be of help to anyone who's trying to break through as an American.
And that was just a few years after you turned pro, right?
Yeah. So I graduated high school in 2000, and that all happened in 2003.
Are you one of those kids that started with your dad like when you're 4 or 5 years old?
No, so I had a brother who played. I'm the youngest of 2 older brothers, and my middle brother John played. Actually, right here, I made the joke about, but at Caswell Tennis Center here in Austin. So he would go have his lessons because that's what he did, and then I would go to the backboard there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it still exists there, but it was just literally a piece of plank wood that they had some concrete, and that's kind of where I started playing.
Well, for us, when we first started the business, it was a joke. I mean, we didn't make money. We lost money for years. But we didn't have a moment. But, I mean, I didn't. Did you have a moment where you're like, hey, I think we can do this?
Mm-hmm.
No, people are always, they still ask something. What's the question that they ask? It's like, when did you know you were successful or something like that? I'm like, oh my God, it's so gradual. And I wouldn't even still consider that. You know, it's hard to answer anyway.
Well, it was like
I don't know what
not
you call
one,
success.
it wasn't one moment for me, but it was like moments looking back where we're in the kitchen and the phone's ringing off the hook and cookies are everywhere and we can't keep up. Those were the times where I was finally letting myself believe like maybe this could be a real business. Did you have a moment like that?
Not really. So I have more of, like, in the entrepreneurial space, I have more daydreams about something like that, about something working. Gosh, could you imagine if we just did this, this, and this, and all of a sudden people started using a product, or people started drinking a product, or people, I have kind of more of those forward thinking. With tennis, it's weird because like you can get ahead of yourself, but then someone kicks your butt the next day and you're like, I stink. So there's
well, that happens to us too.
Yeah,
there's more of like I guess a constant checks and balances, right? It's like you think you're great on a Monday, and on Wednesday.
Well, it's really black and white too, because you either win or you lose.
That's what I love about sports.
The
versus
results
business.
in front of you. There's no, I say it's the world's best reality show. There's no script, nothing's given. But as far as like those daydream moments, it always felt so far until it just wasn't. All of a sudden, I remember one of the moments was in 2001. The ESPN match of the day used to always start at 1:00. And so I'd won a couple of matches. I was still 150 in the world. I'd done well in, like, let's say I'd got on like a hitting streak in like AA or AAA.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's where I was at. I was 18 years old. And then won a match in Miami, which is kind of like one step below slams, but a huge tournament. And got to play Pete Sampras at 1:00 on ESPN. Had never been on TV before, and won that match. And he was 2 in the world.
And did you know? Oh, so you knew you were going to be on TV.
Well, at that point, so knew the TV match, and all of a sudden, like the commentators, there's cameras around. Like there've never been cameras around. Like when I'm playing, even if you do well in juniors, like no one really cares. But like all the people you recognize from watching TV are covering the match, and so that was kind of like a.
Did you play better or worse because of that?
I played great, but it was, you walk off the court and you go, okay, like you beat one of your heroes on like a big stage, and then you're going, okay, well. At that point, I probably knew I could make a living doing it, like going into that match. But then afterwards, you're going, oh, wait a minute, like I'm as good as this guy, like one day, like on one day.
Yeah.
If I can have a couple more days like that, maybe there's something there.
So, but when you were 17, though, you almost quit tennis, right?
I did. Yeah, it was probably more out of petulance than than anything. I was playing junior Wimbledon, and I lost to a guy. I won't name him. He was this British guy. I mean, he had like a beard, even though he was like 15 or 16. Like he looked like he brought his kids to the match. I don't know. He just wasn't like the prototype of like a phenom, right? Of what you look at. And I lost to this guy, and then he lost the next round 6-0, 6-0. So I lost to a guy that got beat without winning a game. And I was practicing, after I lost, before our kind of whole team went back home from England, and I threw every one of my rackets over the fence into the woods. So I returned home with no rackets. Kind of at that point, I thought, okay, well, we'll probably do college and play there. And it didn't end up working that way, but I didn't play for a little bit.
All right, so Wimbledon. How different do you think your life would be if you had won one of those Wimbledons?
I don't know. So we'll start with the positive before we get to like the fact that I want to vomit when I think about it. But my relationship with tennis fans, with medium, with kind of anything from that day forward, I felt understood after that match.
Right.
In the wake of kind of what was probably my most heartbreaking loss, specifically in 2009, not the other two finals.
If any loss was a win.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I learned a lot from that experience. Obviously, like, when I go back, I've only been back there one time since I retired. And you walk through, and like, if you walk in there as a champion, there's a certain thing, and it didn't really hit me until I walked back in, because my life now, it doesn't really revolve around tennis at all.
Right.
You know, so it's not top of mind.
Sure.
Hardly ever. And you walk back in, and I was like, oh gosh, it would be really cool to walk back in here having won one of those things. Like, it was brutal, but kind of my general relationship with kind of the orbit of my life was way better after that match, specifically after the 2009 final.
Well, tennis, I feel like tennis really has given you an opportunity. I don't want to say more so. You've really leveraged tennis into a lot of cool things in your life. What would you say would be the coolest thing that you've gotten to do because of tennis?
My wife.
I knew I was setting you up. I knew it.
But yeah,
I was thinking about that. Sorry.
Yeah, well, okay, so funny moment.
Saturday Night Live?
Which Saturday Night Live was cool. That was fun. That's like, no one gets to do that, you know, and it happened quickly. Like, you win the Open, and then 2 months later you're live from New York. It's Saturday Night Live. You know, and it's weird because that, like, I think of like the hectic moments. So that week was right before our like World Tour finals, which is the top 8 guys, and the #1 ranking that year was still up for grabs. It was me, Roger, and a guy named Juan Carlos Ferrero. So I was practicing in the mornings, then going in and doing rehearsals for like 8 or 9 hours a day that day for SNL.
Right.
And then as soon as we were done off, you flew to Houston for World Tour finals, and then it's like, okay, you did SNL, now you're trying to be #1 in the world for like the year end.
Yeah.
So it was like just such a hectic moment, but it's just kind of the way it was for a little while, and it was really fun. It wasn't really a huge stress thing, but
Was
it was a million
SNL
things.
really scary, like to be on?
Yeah,
completely
more
live?
scary than center
which
court at
one?
Wimbledon.
Because
No,
one's like
well,
your
no,
wheelhouse,
because
right?
like the actual like life consequence of Wimbledon was significant.
Yeah.
Sure.
I screw up Saturday Night Live. I just screwed
Doesn't
up. Like, I
matter.
screwed up, and like everyone says you're a terrible actor. It's like, that's fine because I'm not an actor. So it wasn't as stressful, like a serious type of stress as like finals of Wimbledon, but it was incredibly nerve-wracking.
Well, speaking of your wife,
Yeah.
tell me, I've heard this story. I don't know if Tiff has heard, but tell me the most, the romantic way you met. the
I've heard the
fairy tale story of how you and Brooklyn met and fell in love.
Not a fairy tale.
paid your agent to set you up, right?
There was
Yes.
some
Something
sort of.
like that.
What an ass.
No, she says you picked her out of a magazine, right?
That's
Like a catalog.
Yeah, that's what she says.
The thing that I really liked is she used to actually do a show on SI.com called She Says, Z Says, where before it was like, now we get, betting lines all the time, and you see, all these different companies, and it's kind of become mainstream, but it was kind of ahead of its time, where she would break down betting lines and spreads in NFL games for the weekend. She was quick, like reacted off them pretty well. I was attracted to her from that show, probably more so than.
Then you told your agent to
And
then
call
you-
her agent.
And then
happily ever after.
listen, you can frame it however you want. It was research. All right, I was just figuring it out.
All right, so I know you guys travel a lot. You and Brooke travel a lot. I don't know. People get their minds blown when they find out that Tiff and I, there are weeks where we spend 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that is, I know from knowing you guys, that is opposite of you, right?
We're
And it has always been, except for the shutdown. Did that affect that? And
yeah, it was especially when like I was playing full time, and then she had gotten into acting full time, so she'd be on location for months at a time, and I would we'd go 6 weeks where I would stop on location for 2 days and then on to Japan or wherever I was going, and it would be
Right.
like 2 or 3 days in 6 weeks or 7 weeks. It was hard then. I mean, that was obviously we understand like it's not hard compared to what most people do, but as far as like a relationship goes,
Yeah.
apparently you need to be with each other sometimes. Like that helps.
Or apart.
yeah. I honestly wonder which one's harder. Like 24/7 is not easy.
Stop
No
pointing at
offense.
me.
But
24/7 is not. That's it's not.
I'm a peach at
not-
all
it's
times.
But lately you guys have spent. I mean,
Well, it's
when
much-
she's not shooting, and now that you're retired.
Yeah.
How's retirement been? I mean, in general.
It's been great, and like kind of the one thing that I don't really negotiate on is control over my geography most of the time now.
Right.
Like, so she's still obviously with her show has to be places at certain times, but 95% of what I do now can be done from a home office.
So retirement for you, I know when Brooke's shooting, you're dad, right? Are you like pretty much a full-time dad for weeks at a time, right?
Just take naps all the time. Yeah. So she's amazing because she'll go out and work. She'll take 2 red eyes to work 3 days. Like she doesn't, she's not gone long ever. But yeah, I mean, I can largely control kind of where I'm at, and we often talk about our kids when we're talking with each other, kind of offline, and it's been amazing. I don't know. I see these guys that are still on tour, guys and gals who are still on tour and have kids and are traveling. I would have been horrible at that. I was not good to be around when I was playing. I was pretty selfish. I felt like I had to be compared to who I was trying to beat. I had to be a certain way. So I would have struggled with that. I'm so happy that there was separation between my former life and kind of this life of children, where I actually can be present more often.
So
Yeah, we feel the same way about kids. Like we always talk about, there's no way we could have started a business while we had little kids, because they just take up so much. You don't want to be away from them like that. And even if not physically, but just not present, because all of your focus is somewhere else. So we've always felt very lucky we started as early as we did.
Also the lack of sleep and the emotions and the Who is the one that disciplines the kids? I'm curious because
Probably me more.
more than Brooke.
Yeah, I think so.
Who do you think between us?
I think you do.
No,
Really?
this guy.
She is a softie, like an absolute softie.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would have lost my wallet on that one.
yeah.
Yeah, we should have bet on that.
We have different personas.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you were in the first part of baking, you were a little critical.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I guess I can see
you
that now.
were baking like a child. So.
I still have not heard a lie.
Tell me about retirement and what do you do? I know we're in many deals together.
Yeah.
And is investing kind of your big thing? What would you say is your favorite deal you're in, or what companies are you excited about?
So you're an investor in one of our. You're actually drinking one of your investments right now.
Sweetens
Sweetens
Cove,
Cove
yep.
bourbon, which is fun. I'm in it with a team of which some people know the name Peyton Manning, and so he's in it with us, and that's kind of a fun journey. And it's a space that I have no business thinking I could be in, but you ask enough questions to enough smart people, and you can kind of make your way. And
Number
we're
one
building that.
ranked celebrity spirits brand, right?
Yeah, in
As
the world,
is it Esquire?
named by Esquire.
Tell us about Andy Roddick Foundation. I think it's such an awesome cause what you do, and more needed now than ever before.
Yeah, what we knew has been exacerbated by this pandemic. For a while, we were a pretty lazy operation, right? We were like a typical athlete pass-through nonprofit where we had the ability to raise money, and then we trusted other people to do right by it.
Investing in different things.
Yeah, and then I had a very good friend who was like, "Listen, you're playing a relevancy game at that point, and you're closer to the end of your career than you are to the beginning." And so we started kind of investing in our direct service programs here in Austin, Texas. Basically moving into schools when people move out of them, either at the end of the day, end of the school day, so after school, and/or summer programs, largely focused on social emotional learning. So, what are we feeling? How do we communicate with people? How do we articulate maybe feelings of anger that we have? It's largely in lower socioeconomic areas, so there are certainly very, very significant challenges. And
You're
so,
saying the parents have like multiple jobs and they're not.
it's twofold. So it's what we do to actually add value to the kids, provide a place of safety.
Yeah.
Sure.
Most of our kids, the large majority of our kids are from single parent homes. Yeah. But what that also does is when the school day is out, it allows a parent to actually work for another 3 or 4 hours.
Right.
Just huge.
Right, and not worry, and not only worry about safety that their kid is fine and okay, but actually
Being enriched.
Well, there's value added.
Yeah.
And so that's been a huge thing, and so we started off just with one school, and then it's grown, and now we basically run a network of out-of-school time programs that's upwards of 30 now, and so we serve upwards of 70,000 kids in the Central Texas area. And so, similar to you all saying, we started with one store, and then there were kind of all these things. It's just kind of really grown over time. We've been lucky enough to recruit amazing talent in the space, which is like the recipe for everything, isn't it? And so it's impactful now.
So I saw the coolest thing. It just randomly, like I was scrolling through my social media feed, and I see this guy playing tennis, some video. I don't know if you know this. Tell me about, is it Verdasco? French above?
Fernando Verdasco.
Yes, you and him. Do you remember this story?
It depends which one it is.
When you had match point, and the guy double faulted, and so Andy, you know what? I'll let you tell it.
I got credit for sportsmanship that shouldn't have been applied to me. He doubled, the mark was in. I went up and basically corrected the umpire, but the umpire probably could have come down and read the mark. It would just have been a matter of if he chose the wrong one, then I would have won the match.
Right.
But we didn't operate that way. Maybe I ended up losing the match, and that's the only reason.
So he got a call, and he would have won the match. It would have been over.
The only reason it was ever a story is because I lost the match. Like, it wouldn't have been a thing, oh, he corrected the call, then he won like 2 points later. That would have never been a story, ever.
Knowing you don't regret it. You didn't look back. You didn't lose any sleep.
No, I thought I was going to do the right thing and win.
So you do regret it.
That way.
No, like now it's a good story. I don't mind now, but like a week later, I'm like...
Were you pissed that day that you had done it?
No, I was pissed that I lost. I shouldn't have lost regardless of
But you weren't like, if only I hadn't done that.
No, I didn't have buyer's remorse on the action.
Yeah.
I was just mad because, I mean, I should have served out the match anyways.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you serve to win a match.
I thought that was
I literally have never heard that term, but I did follow the
The stream of thought.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool story. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
All right, so look, I think knowing Andy the way we know Andy, there's a side of him people don't really realize. There's
Drunk.
a silly side.
Drunk.
Well, there's a drunk side.
Yeah.
There's a funny side. So what we did is we asked some of his good friends and maybe his wife to send us some pictures.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, and what we're gonna do is show these pictures to you, and you're gonna have to tell us what the context was.
I'm going to have to defend these pictures.
Defend these pictures.
Defend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so let's do that. Does it sound like fun?
Sounds very fun.
Okay, looking at this, I would assume this is when you made your first $1 million, right? Tell us what this is.
No, we were in St. Polten, Austria in 2003, and we had like one of the little gaming devices, and I think we were playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we finally won the game. I can tell you, I won the tour event that week, and I wasn't even close to as happy as...
All right, next. Oh,
I
sorry.
knew this was going to be there. I don't know. I think it was a photo shoot of some sort.
No. Apparently, this is the year after you won the U.S. Open.
Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, and you did not defend your title.
Yeah, I lost in the quarters.
Yes, and when your friends and family...
Oh, everyone was upset because I had lost, and so he walked in and said, "It's not the end of the world, look at me."
Yes, they walked in, and this is how he answered the door to his hotel room.
So everyone wouldn't feel awkward.
So yes, only
Well,
he
not
would feel
awkward because I had
that.
lost. Awkward just because
Introducing a new
I was
awkward.
wearing...
So I think that's a really sweet
I love
story.
it.
It was awkward for a different reason. It was awkward
Yeah.
because I was wearing tighty whities with a bullseye on the crotch.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is this?
I don't know. I know where it is. That's up in the mountains in North Carolina. I mean, the bad news is that that's my mother-in-law behind me watching me do this.
Next picture. Oh, this one's sweet.
This is very recent. Oh, that's our cat named Ethel.
And you're just loving on your cat named that.
Apparently, I'm a cat guy now. I went from like being really good at tennis to like loving cats.
This is a sweet one. Look at that one.
Yeah, that was
Sounds like a
Stevie.
Stevie.
Yeah.
Sweet. Less sweet. What is this?
That could be any Tuesday, really.
Well, okay, first of all, what food is this?
I don't know. That could be any.
It's a mini quiche.
That could be any time of the day. That could be.
2 sweetens coves in. Oh, I love this one.
I think I killed a snake.
You did.
Oh.
Your racket breaking finally pays off.
Finally, it'd be like a hornet in the house, And it's like, you go get your tennis racket. It's like, there's a snake where it shouldn't be. You go get your tennis racket. She's like, you're such a loser.
Something has to come out
She's
of
like,
this tennis career of
she's
yours.
like, you only have one move in a moment of panic.
Well,
That's your, Oh, this one.
We had this like couples Olympiad for over the course of 3 days. We had different events. It was like sandcastle making, and we would have dinners, but they would have themes, and you would get a grade based on entrance and costume. And so we did Gilligan's Island, and she was Gilligan, and,
It's so
and
cute.
I was
I love
Ginger.
it.
So
Well, lucky for you, that's it.
thank God.
Yeah, thanks for playing along. I think we should probably go
well, let's check on the
yeah.
cookies because I think they could be almost ready.
Let's go.
Come on, go, guys. Let's go do it. All right, Andy,
I gotta see this.
yours are on top. I want to take yours out first.
How did
Woo.
we do?
A
These
little bit
actually
of
look,
a
they look great.
top of a muffin
There's
situation.
a couple of top of the mornings to you. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you're gonna take your teaspoon here,
Yep.
and you're just gonna smash in, just like that to make it a little rounded cup.
Okay.
Okay, and then you just do that to all of them.
Okay.
We're gonna fill them up with caramel,
Caramel.
and pecans.
Caramel?
Caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel.
Caramel.
Okay.
I wouldn't go by me. but-
Okay, so here comes my guys.
There you go. That's.
See, they're not all perfectly even either.
Oh, that one was bad. I thought the guts came out a little too much,
Yeah.
but we're fine.
Yeah, it is always worrying because you're like, these don't seem done, but that's just because the dough is so hot that it seems like they're not finished in the middle, but once they cool, it'll surprise you how they're ready. So we're gonna make some caramel sauce so it's really liquidy and you can pour it in, and we're gonna do that on the stove here.
I'm going to make mine with caramel.
Okay. Oh, Leon, I have a job for you.
Finally.
You see
I'm here.
these two pots?
Yes,
Bring
okay.
those forward, please.
Pot number one.
There you go.
Wow.
Thank you.
This is
Look at that. Look
pretty
at
much
that.
how the whole business is run.
I was about to say, look at that value add.
Yeah. They just give me the title of CEO.
Okay, so these we did measure out, Andy. So you can just pour all these caramels into your pan. Okay, and then this is heavy whipping cream. And just take your tablespoon measure and measure 4 tablespoons worth and put it in there too. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the stove here and we're just gonna melt this down. And it's gonna take a few minutes and we're just gonna kind of constantly stir. So just like kind of medium low. And now, this is the best part of any cooking show, just stirring
4
and
straight
watching
minutes.
it.
4 straight minutes of stirring.
We can just hold hands while we do it. Here, this is
eat
how
it.
we usually cook.
Oh my God.
Got-
See, this is the part where I would mess up because I'd get like impatient and I would just crank it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, mine's getting really saucy. See, that looks really good.
Yeah.
All right, we're all set. Let's just turn it down to low. Okay, so now we are going to take our little cups and we're gonna pop them out of the tray and put them onto our nice platters here. Okay, so take your knife and
Look
you
at that.
just kind of slice it around the side and then they pop right out. See, isn't it cool? They pop right out. You would think that they would stick in here because we didn't even spray this down or anything. This is an ungreased mini muffin tray.
His are
Yeah,
definitely
they just
more
pop-
gooey than
His
yours,
are a
but
little less done because
Actually,
they're
you
larger.
probably prefer the gooey.
I think that those are going to be really good. I mean, I don't think that you want them all that brown around the sides. They're definitely more stable if they are.
We lost a soldier. Lost a soldier. Look away.
Okay, one
Look
down,
away.
You
one
lost
down.
Look away.
That's all right.
On command.
Oh.
So is that good?
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, these are like awesome. Can't wait.
Yeah, these are
It's gone
perfectly done.
very downhill over here.
Yeah, it's,
I'm so happy.
this is the moment I've been waiting for.
I was so close.
This one is a goner. I can tell you that much already just by looking
Just
at
the
it.
goo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I just want to save you.
You can eat it if you want.
We'll still find a home for you.
There you go. Okay, so next, let's put the caramel in. So we are going to take this hot caramel sauce that we made. Let's stir it up. And then you just fill up each one.
See, this is where it's going to look like really nice and clean the way you do it. And for
Well,
me,
you
it's
know
gonna
what?
be like-
Some of this does drip. It's hard to have this not drip out of the
Is it?
pan,
Okay,
but that's okay. I think it's fine.
mine are just a
Tell
mess.
that Andy was not a finesse tennis player.
Yours looks so good. She's just full of grace, like Federer, but she's also like a just clean tactician, no weaknesses in the game, kind of like Djokovic, but you know there's like that underlying ferocity Like a Serena.
That actually describes her perfectly.
Like the Serena Williams of cookie cups.
Of cookie cups, yeah. So you're gonna take a pecan and just press it in.
These pecans
inside
are offended by what I've done over
each
here.
cup. See, it's gonna cover all the mistakes. We won't even be able to know whose is whose at the end.
That's not true.
Okay, I know. Okay, when you're done, then the last thing we're gonna do is sprinkle some sea salt on it, because why not? This is your moment. You can't mess this up. You just sprinkle this on.
Well, challenge accepted.
And it should stick to the caramel a little.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
And,
Oh, sorry. I thought you were looking at mine.
Good job.
They're gonna taste good, don't worry. Ta-da! That's it! The finished product, what do you think?
I think.
Okay, see? Not bad.
Well,
Not bad for a beginner.
So this is chocolate chip
great.
turtle cookie cups,
and something.
and anybody can do it.
Almost.
Even Andy Roddick.
Oh wait, let's taste them.
Okay.
Okay, Leon, you
yeah.
have to taste one of each.
All right, I'm gonna get this funny.
I
looking guy.
guarantee his are gonna taste just as good, if not better.
All right,
Jeez, you just completely ruined my presentation.
How good is it?
this is really good.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, really good. This guy.
How'd you make that selection?
So I'll say they're both very good.
Okay.
Good job, man.
I appreciate
All
it.
right,
Thank
here,
you.
Andy,
You
let's
passed my
eat one
test.
too. We can try.
I wanna-
Cheers, me.
I wanna
You're
try-
gonna
no, I
try
want
one. Okay, you want one.
Yeah,
All right, here. Cheers. Thanks for playing. It was fun.
I didn't come here to eat mine.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oh no. No problem. All right, well, that's it, friends.
All right.
Thanks for
Cheers.
baking with us.
Thank you for taking me on the journey. You know what a weird segue is? Is avocado stuck in my shoe. What's next?
Yeah. If you could segue from that, you can kind of do anything, right?
Yeah, you just give you the Emmy.
I think it
All right.
shouldn't have quotes if it happened.
I feel like this is like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah, I do. I really think it's just us three just goofing around is what this is end up
Yes.
being. Like we're sitting here with Andy and
Talking about
we
our
just
own
won't we just won't talk about tennis. So at a Texas X's event, they had me throw out the first pitch, and the whole time I was thinking Baba Booey, Baba Booey. And her and my buddy were in the stands talking about.
The first thing when I saw him, we both said, we're worried he's gonna Baba Booey.
Did you do it?
I threw a
Oh, he
perfect
did
strike.
it good.
You did a perfect strike,
He did
yeah.
it
Did you
great.
screw it up? No, I was great.
I was petrified.
I was terrified.
petrified.
I was terrified because I'm the one who has to go home with him at the end of the day after like a boo, and I was like, please don't, please don't.
Pretty good for a guy who is kind of known for yelling at chair umpires.
Yeah, I do that, and I win Steve Stifler lookalike contests on the weekends.
Yes,
fair.
I've always thought that.
Fair.
Oh, and no, what's his name? The comedian,
one?
the guy we saw in Vegas one time.
Careful.
Oh, he's
you
handsome.
mean
Don't worry, he's
Tosh,
handsome.
Daniel Tosh.
Daniel Tosh.
Oh, interesting.
Have you never gotten that?
I think I have.
Daniel Tosh, totally. I don't know if you know that. Andy's kind of known. You've broken a few rackets in your day.
I have heard this. This is well
over
known.
under. Set the line at 20 over under.
Ever?
Yeah.
He just said
during
he broke,
a game.
He said he
during
broke
a match.
5
Like
during one
Oh
game,
gosh.
just a second.
I was
well,
at,
no, that was when he was like
no,
a
I
teenager.
was at.
Oh.
I was at. So not in one match, obviously, because you can only get like a warning before you start getting penalized, like points and stuff. I actually got I was good. I was probably top 10 in the world at like 19 years old. Do you know how many rackets you have to break for your racket company to call? It'd be like you giving cookies to someone who added a lot of value to your company. You don't really think of product as like, you don't stress
Sure.
out about product, right?
Sure.
Like you can have a,
Right.
I got a call, it was like, you need
No
to
more.
slow down because you're actually costing the company a significant amount of
More
money.
than you're
with-
bringing to the table
Yeah, I was
with
like,
your.
it's July and you've broken 50 rackets this year.